Hello everybody and welcome to the Leading Edge Detailing Online Training Academy. A short and sweet tutorial for you today, and that is how to clean and maintain your pads. With polishing pads, you really have to treat them like your wash mitt or your microfiber cloths. They must be clean at all times, because if you get any dirt or debris inside of the pad, you're going to then add your own scratches onto the car. That is going to create unnecessary headache, unnecessary work, and sometimes it will actually make you chase your tail thinking to yourself, this car must have super soft paint no matter what I do, no matter what polish I use, my pad is not finishing up nice, where in reality your pad might just have picked up a little bit of debris and you're creating haze due to that debris rather than your pad and polish combination. So with the pads, this is my suggestion on how you look after them. First, always store your pads in a clean place. Whether you have a nice cupboard with a door that you can close to keep the dust away, or you keep them in storage tubs, always keep your pads somewhere nice and clean. The next thing I recommend is using compressed air. I know it's difficult, especially when you're first starting up, to invest in an air compressor to blow out your pads. I have personally tried pad washing machines and I found them to be messy, and I found that when a pad is wet, it doesn't finish as well. So I personally didn't like those pad wash buckets. You might have a different opinion, and that's completely fine. There is no wrong and right. But my first option will always be to use compressed air. So to look after your pads, you really need to blow them out once they get to this stage. If you let it really cake on more than this, you're only going to be creating more dust, and you're also not going to be getting the right level of cut and finish. So I normally recommend using a compressor to blow this out and clean it up, then go back to your next panel. The easiest way to clean your pad using a compressor is simply like this. Now obviously I'm using both my hands, one to hold the camera and one to hold the compressor, but ideally you want to use one hand to hold the polishing machine and not blow the pad while the machine is on the floor. So simply start off from the outside edge. And you will physically see all that buildup that was inside of the pores of the pad be removed. So that's completely fine. You don't have to make the pad look like brand new. You just want to remove that gunk that is covering the surface, but you can see that the pores are actually fairly open. The next thing you do is, as you're working on the car, regularly clean your pads. So every pass, every 2 passes, blow it out with compressed air. Use a brush, a stiff bristle brush, to brush out the fibers, especially if you're working on microfiber or wool. It keeps the fibers open so you can get better results. And failing everything, if you're working, your compressor has died, you don't have a brush, simply grab your polishing machine with the pad on there, grab a clean microfiber cloth and put your hand onto the pad and run that machine. So basically use the microfiber cloth to clean the pad. That's a trick that I have had to use many times when there was just no other option to clean my pads and I didn't have multiple pads. The next thing to do to get the most out of your pads is have several pads. There is nothing that kills pads more than heat. So if you're regularly changing your pad every time you blow it out, take it off the backing plate, put a new pad on, you're giving those pads time to dissipate the heat. And by dissipating the heat, you're going to prolong the life of that pad. Where if you have one pad and you're constantly using it on that car, by the time you finish half the car, by the time you get to the end, that pad is going to be very sloppy, it's going to be very soft, it might even start to break down and die. So that's another hint while you're actually doing the job, how to look after your pads. Once the job is done and you're ready to pack things up, especially if you are in a workshop or even if you're mobile, go home or take these pads to the sink and give them a very thorough wash. You can actually prolong the life of your pads by washing them out. I'm a little bit lazy myself. I like to blow out the pads with compressed air, but as you can see, they're fairly clean because I use multiple pads and I blow them out regularly. But if you have a pad that is really gunked up and full of debris and paint and polishing compound, the best thing you can do is take these pads to a sink, use warm water, plain warm water. You don't even have to use any chemicals, but if you really want to, you can use some IGL multi and wash out those pads really well and gently let them air dry. Don't throw them in a dryer. Don't let them dry with a machine or a tumbler. That's going to damage the pads. But all of IGL's pads are washable, and my trick is to put them on a drying rack face down. So that way the Velcro dries first, and when the Velcro dries first, you reduce the chance of that Velcro being damaged, the glue that's holding the Velcro to the foam, for example, getting damaged. So wash the pad, squeeze the water out of it as good as you can without damaging the pad. Use plain water, use warm water, use a little bit of IGL multi. Don't get creative and use things like dishwashing soap. So once you have washed it, always let it dry in this way with the Velcro side pointing up, the polishing surface pointing down. I like to put a nice brand new clean microfiber cloth. Don't just throw your pad out on the floor or on a table because it might pick up some dirt or debris. And then they're ready to use the next day as good as new. So that's my trick for maintaining polishing pads. The more you look after these pads, the more you will look after you. Costs do add up when you are destroying pads, and we're going to have a specific tutorial about how to polish in the correct manner to look after your pad. But for the purpose of this tutorial, keep them clean. Use compressed air as you're polishing. Use compressed air when you finish. Use a microfiber cloth if you need to. Use a stiff bristle brush if you need to. And at the end of the day, wash all of your pads. Make them nice and dry in the right way. And if you have the ability to use multiple pads, do it, because it will just spread the heat over 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 pads, whatever it is. It's better than one pad. So thank you for watching, and I hope this tutorial saves you money and not wasting pads.